Does anybody remember the controversy that the torture mission in Grand Theft Auto 5 accrued back when it came out? Now, imagine an entire game based around that mission, only 10 times worse, and you have Tormentor, an upcoming game on Steam. This game is controversial. At least, it will be. It's not even out yet, and I haven't seen anybody talking about it. But when it comes out, it will be talked about by gaming journalists, and open the whole violence in gaming discourse once more, as if that hasn't happened enough times already. Now, let me be clear. I don't actually think this game has taken things too far. I thought it was a neat idea for a game, and what that says about me, who knows. But all I know for sure is that the Steam community page for this game is a goldmine. But first, before we get to that, what is this game actually about, and what do you do in it? I'll let the trailer speak for itself, although I'll have to be careful with what I show.
ASUS.
What the?
Más oscuras y enfermizas son posibles. Comparte tu experiencia.
Stop. Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Release me, you piece of shit. Or I'm gonna fucking kill you. Don't you fucking touch me. No! Please, stop! You don't have to do this!
Fool boy, this is a risky one. So you play as a tormentor who owns the Love Island of snuff films and torture porn. You select your victims, capture them, and then torture them live to share on the internet. The gameplay looks very crude, to the point where I almost suspect it's one of those scam proof of concept games. Earth 2 anybody? However, their previous titles, Succubus and Agony, did have albeit crude gameplay, so I'll give it benefit of the doubt. The game offers a surprising amount of control over your torture implements, letting you play the goddamn Sims version of a sadomasochist's wet dream. I'm genuinely very interested to see how this game turns out, but what about that Steam community I mentioned? I tapped in to see if people were also apprehensive about the supposed gameplay footage in the trailer, but I didn't see any discussion of the gameplay at all. Instead, all I saw were people calling to have the game banned and removed from Steam. In fact, let's have a look now to show you what I mean. Okay, so this is the wasteland that is the Tormentor community Steam page, just like every other Steam community page. However, this one has some very strong and controversial opinions already, even straight off the bat. I don't think a game like this should exist. I didn't bat an eye when Hatred got released, but this seems too much. What's next? I definitely cannot say that on YouTube, but you can probably use your imagination. It isn't just a one-off either, pretty much every post that follows is the same. This is the line. This is it. I honestly think this is the line where Valve need to not host this game. Again, another comparison to Hatred. This post I think was posted as a joke, but as soon as you click on it, I mean, this post pretty much says it all. Okay, I'm first here. Any thoughts about game? First post, I want to torture people in this video game. And the second one, I hope this game don't get censored. The SJW crowd will bash the game left and right. I don't think it's the SJW crowd that are hating on this, honestly. I think there are some valid concerns, but oh, a little BDSM, smiley face. You know, just a little. There you go. Deserve an award for that. I like to think that before it was edited, it just said a lot of BDSM. Maybe they toned it down a little bit. So the community page pretty much goes on like this for a very long time. For shame, this is not a game. What will be next? Someone complaining it doesn't have enough dismemberment. That is actually a fan of the studio as opposed to someone who's just seen it on the discovery queue and thought, oh my god, what an outrage. People are very convinced the game is going to get pulled. You have some people who are apprehensive, but they do have valid reasons. There are valid concerns. So I think this is opening the whole violence in video games discourse once again, and fairly so. Even if my opinion on the game is different, there's a lot to it. It's a lot more nuanced than this game is going to cause people to torture other people. In fact, there was one comment I saw earlier. Let's see where it was. Oh, I like this one. Sure, everybody knows that the big wars of human history, violence, cruelty, rage, suffering, and all the bad things coming from computer games. Now that we have agreed, destroy your PC and hide in a cave. Have fun. That pretty much sums up my opinion on this entire thing, honestly. So this post here is the one I wanted to talk about. They are saying that there's a real thing that takes place on the dark web on a daily basis called red rooms. Now, for those not in the know, red rooms are something that allegedly, more on that later, exist on the dark web where people pay others to torture existing people, which is pretty much the premise for the game, and I'm very sure that the game was influenced by that, hence the streaming of a torture to people on the internet. The thing is, red rooms are almost like an urban myth. Mutahar 5 years ago I think did a video on red rooms. You also have Scare Theatre and Rainbot. They've looked into red rooms, they've tried to find them, and I know they're not meant to be found, but they have really looked. And as far as actual red rooms go, here, the first person even points this out, the FBI over the past 5 years have never been able to prove red rooms exist and have credible evidence to show they are fake. And you might have remembered, I think it was last year, there was a alleged red room, and it had a countdown timer with someone with a bag on their head bound to a chair. Just turned out to be an ARG, and it wasn't the first of its kind. There are a lot of people who have hopped in on the red room trend, much like this game is doing, but that doesn't mean they exist. So this idea that this game is mimicking reality and is going to encourage people to start red rooms of their own or torture people, that's not the case. If people see this game to clarify, and then thought, okay, this is possible, I'm going to do this, it's encouraged me to do it, they have bigger problems than playing a game on Steam, and removing the game from Steam is not going to remove those problems. If you want to fix anything, fix the goddamn healthcare system and fix the price it costs for therapy in America. That is how you're going to prevent stuff like this demonic person picking someone up with one hand and stabbing him. That's how you're going to prevent it, not pulling this game from Steam. So I'm very curious when this game comes out, how people are going to respond to it. I know games journalists are going to look at it, and they're going to see the argument here, they're going to see the discourse is reopened, and that discourse about violence in video games brings in views. So, it's gonna be a fucking shitstorm, that's all I can say. I'm looking forward to this game coming out. I don't know if I'll enjoy playing it, I'm still pretty convinced it won't play very well as a game. But I'm looking forward to seeing all the arguments that come out. And it doesn't have a release date yet, but I guarantee you when it comes out, I'm going to be looking at it and I'm going to be enjoying seeing everyone argue over it. It'll probably be trending on Twitter or something, you know how it goes. But I really wanted to talk about this because I'm surprised more people haven't talked about it. Madmind Studio have somewhat of a reputation because they've released some of their releases on Steam have pushed the limits of what can be shown, to the point where I can't even show some of the stuff in these games because it will be censored on YouTube. And I think they really are pushing it a bit here, because demons and succubi are one thing, but torture does happen in the real world, and people are going to be a lot more sensitive because of it. You need to be aware of that. I don't know if I can get behind them making this game. I think it should be allowed, but I think they're going to deal with one hell of a shitstorm when it comes out, and they need to be prepared for it because people are going to be cancelling them left, right and centre. That's pretty much everything I have to say about it. I thought I'd bring it to your attention because it's interesting to me, and it's something to keep your eyes on, I reckon. For all we know, this is going to be the game that creates another age rating, or Steam are going to have to release a policy about violence within their games. So I think this is going to be important, I think it's going to be big, which is why I'm bringing it to your attention. I can't quite tell what effects it will have on the industry yet, I just know it will have one, if not just a major discussion between players of games and people who still criticise games and think they're going to cause World War III. Thank you for watching the video. If you want to see any more news on things going on the internet, or just gameplay highlights, I've been streaming with my girlfriend on Twitch recently, and we're having a great time there if you want to head over. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to uploading on YouTube again, and I've got a few good video ideas in mind, so stick around. I'm still pretty unwell, not as unwell and unhealthy looking as this guy here, but maybe one day. Stay positive, stay healthy, I love you guys, have a great day. Until next time, this is me, Evans with a Z111 out. Peace.